For our United Way Spotlight of the Week, we have the Independent Living Centre Kingston, and I'm joined by Kate Deacon, who is the Program and Services Manager. Welcome, Kate. Good to have you on our program today. So tell me about your organization.
Thank you for having me today. Independent Living Centre Kingston is a cross-disability resource center here in Kingston. Our mission is to work with people with all kinds of disabilities to give them the information, the support, and the tools that they need to participate fully in our community.
Tell me what cross-disability means.
So cross-disability means all disabilities. There's lots of ways that we can be impacted by disability. It could be a physical disability, a mental health disability, or developmental disability, and we work with all of those types.
And some people have more than one disability to deal with.
That's very true. It's very common that people are facing multiple barriers, and that's why it's so important that they have somewhere they can go that can address all of those needs at once.
I think most people have a disability of some sort, and is it a disability? I don't have a sense of direction. I can go to the same place a dozen times and still not be able to find it. And I've often thought if there's something miswired because other people are like homing pigeons, why can't I do that? So what is not a disability?
When we talk about disability, we look more at the way that it impacts you. So two people might have the same condition or experience the same thing, but it's not impacting them on a regular basis or creating any significant barriers. So disability can be self-defined, but that's usually what we look at when we decide whether or not someone might want some support.
Okay, now there's a whole language around, and I'll admit I know some of the terms that you use and you don't use, and occasionally I hear conversations and I wince, and if I watch an old movie, I wince at some of the terminology. So what do you no longer say, and what do you replace that with?
When you talk about disability, we use people first language. So the real key takeaway is that a person is a person first, and then they also happen to have a disability. So you would say a person with a disability. So you wouldn't say that someone, you would say that they have, autism as opposed to saying they are autistic. Again, it's very personal. Some people might identify with other language, but we try to focus on seeing a person as a whole and not just the condition that they have.
So if we just keep that in mind, that'll probably keep us out of offending somebody.
So just come from a place of respect.
Okay. We have an aging population, and I'm part of that baby boomer generation where there are so many of us who are going to be moving through. And there's some of us who, my friends I know, who say, well, I used to always be able to do this, but now I can't anymore. So they weren't a disabled person before, but now they are. So do you deal with that sort of thing?
We do, because it absolutely happens, and I think you're right. We're going to see more of it as Canada continues to age. That's why we're such a great service, because we can offer a lot of information. So if someone gives us a call, they don't need to know exactly what they're looking for. They can just talk to us about their situation, and we can start kind of figuring out what some of the key barriers or issues might be and making some recommendations.
And what are some of the recommendations that you might make to someone, let's say, who is newly disabled, let's say as a result of, a car accident. So now they find themselves that the life they had before is not going to return. So what are some of the resources that you would recommend to someone like that?
Yeah, we'd want to look at the different ways that their life has been impacted. And we, over the years, have built up different programs to address those different areas. So one program, for example, is our peer support program. And that's intended to give people with disabilities the opportunity to meet other people with disabilities, because they are the experts and they can share their experiences. And it's very helpful and comforting to be able to relate and connect with people that have experienced what you're experiencing. We also have an attendant care program. it's a self-managed one, so it's different from some other ones out there. And then we have our information and referral support program. So that's the piece, where if someone didn't even know where to get started, we would talk with them and help them connect either to our resources or all the other fantastic resources in our community.
Tell me one of your success stories.
Oh, one of our success stories. Well, we currently have a pretty amazing program that we're running because of COVID, where with United Way, we secured several cell phones for free that we're able to give to people in need to really address that isolation that we are seeing right now and that technology barrier. And the feedback has been incredible from the people that we've connected with. Um, Not just giving them the phone, but also sitting with them and teaching them how to use it. Because if you've never used a smartphone before, there's a lot to learn. And they can an incredible accessibility tool as well.
I'm going to be the last holdout in having a smartphone, but I would need someone to sit down with me, absolutely, and learn how to use one. Tell me about the United Way and the part that they have played in your success.
The United Way, they are a huge supporter of the work that we do, especially our information and referral support program. We're really proud to be a member agency, and they help us make sure that our programs and services are free. They're all free. There's never a cost for anyone. They also really play this vital role in connecting us to the other resources in our city because they help so many agencies. They have been just key at making sure that we all know what the other ones are doing and building those community connections.
So maybe you call them up and say, we have somebody and these are the issues. What do you suggest? They might know about, because I'm always surprised at the services that agencies offer that I had no idea that was something they got into. So that's a good relationship, and you're
Absolutely.
a good one for them too.
Yes, they really facilitate that sharing of knowledge and resources.
So what's next? What are the plans that your board is working on that you see that this is what we still need to work on? Here's the area where people are really hindered because of their disability.
I think what's next is continuing to navigate the COVID pandemic. It has hit people with disabilities exceptionally hard. You cannot keep 6 feet apart if you require physical assistance on a daily basis. It's also been difficult when things have gone online to get people able to connect to those services because of the different disabilities they have. So we want to focus on recovering from that and also building back stronger. That's the next step for us.
And that says it all. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you for having me.